Hello, everybody. I'd just like to give you a little more of an update about what's going on. You may not see that many regular updates for a little while, at least like a week or so, like 1 or 2 weeks. I know I haven't been putting that much out. It's been like a month since I've had my last real review. The reason for that is things are getting kind of heavy down here at the house. There's a situation going on that I can't really talk about, but it's pretty serious. So I've got to stay here at the house and kind of take care of things, just kind of hold things down, and as a result, it's kind of really weighed on my mind. You know, it's really stressful going on around here. So I'm still going to get in front of the camera now and then and just kind of talk, but things that require a lot of preparation, a lot of work, like setting up the camera, doing really complex things like I used to do. That's kind of out for a little while. I am working on some new stuff. I am writing all of the time. It's just actually getting stuff shot in the can and getting it edited. That's kind of posing the real problem, just for a lot of reasons. I am putting up new mystery disc stuff all the time, though. There are a bunch of new plot lines going up. I think about half of them are online right now. Quick thing, though. A lot of people don't realize when it comes to mystery disc that when you reach the clue phase, when you start clicking on the links to find the clues after you've seen the movies, there are 3 pages of clues. They're probably not in the notes because I've kind of been in a hurry putting them all up, but there are 3 different pages of notes of clues that come up. So you'll see like a page of about 6 of them, and then if you wait about 10 seconds, there will be another page, and in another 10 seconds, there will be another page. So if you're not solving the mysteries, that's why. I also found there is another mystery disc, which for some reason, I looked everywhere for it. I looked like 3 times in the past year or 2. I couldn't find it. Then somebody says, "Did you know there was another one?" I said, "Yeah, I knew that, but I can't find it." Guy gives me a link. There it is. So I found it. We'll see how the first one goes. It seems like you guys really like it. The reviews have been pretty positive on that. I did want to talk briefly about, I bought a new game lately. Everyone's really excited about the new Mega Man 9. I have not played that yet. Haven't had time. The games I have played, I played Civilization 4 Colonization, which I like a lot. The only downside is, I think the tutorials could have been a lot better for that game. You'll play through that game several times, and I was never sure really what I was doing, if I was doing it right, if I was doing it wrong, if I was progressing too slowly, because it plays a very different style than Civ 4. It's a Civ 4 mod, kind of a conversion more than it is a mod, I guess. And the difference is, you're not really focusing on building your cities. You do build cities, but you never build units. You recruit units from the motherland and you bring them over. It's very complex, and so I think I may actually need to look online for kind of a strategy guide, because I don't really know what I'm doing, and I'm pretty good at this kind of game. I actually think I found a groove, but yeah, it's a lot different than Civ 4. So if you're into that, it's actually worth a shot if you're kind of heavy into that. I'm not sure what any other critic gave it, but I was pretty impressed with that. The music I like a lot in that game. Another game that's really popular right now, a lot of people are talking about it, is the new Silent Hill Homecoming game. The latest game to come out on like every console that's on 360, on PS3. And I have not read many reviews, but I have heard that reviews are really mixed when it comes to this. Some are saying it's best ever, some are saying it's pretty inferior. I played through it to the end, and I'll give you my review, and I tend never to give like 3 out of 5 reviews. I never tend to give stars, because I find that then people start equating your reviews. Like, so this game is as good as this game, or this movie is as good as this movie because you gave it the same rating. No. I'll tell you what I liked and what I didn't like about it. First of all, it is a good game. It's a Silent Hill game through and through, and if you like Silent Hill, you will probably like this game. It does a few things differently, however, and a lot of people are turning against the game because of that. For one, your character is like much more combat effective. The game has shifted to more combat focus, to where your guy has much more capability when it comes to weapons, and the combat is much more fluid, I think, in the sense that you can dodge, you can sidestep, you can circle strafe around people, you can have combos, you can do light swings or heavy swings. There's a lot more control over that. And I like that. Some people liked the idea of the earlier games where your guy was never that good at combat, like they're a terrible shot. In this one, you can basically pinpoint where your shots are going. In terms of the character, this makes sense, but I can see why you wouldn't like that, because in terms of survival horror, it really takes away from the scary aspect of it if you don't have a lot to fear from the bad guys, if you can take them down really easily. And if you're good at that, if you have pretty good reflexes, there is a definite rhythm to the combat where you're kind of dodging attacks and then counterattacking. If you're good with the dodge button, you'll have basically no problem with this game. If you think you're pretty good at this type of thing, I would try it on the hard difficulty. I think it's a pretty fair challenge at that point. I actually thought the previous games, like Silent Hill 3, I did not like Silent Hill 3 as much as a lot of people did. A lot of people consider that the masterpiece of the series. I found that in that game, you couldn't fight anything. I spent that entire game with the flashlight off, running away from absolutely everything, and it bugged the shit out of me. I was like, can't I take anything? Like, yeah, sure, if you met one monster, like a dog, or like, I forget, there's like a zombie or a nurse or something like that. If you met one of those in a room, yeah, you could take it out with a melee weapon, but if you were ever outnumbered, you had to run. And so you were always on your heels, running all the time. And so a lot of people are like, yes, of course, that's horror. You're supposed to be running away. You're not supposed to be able to take anything. I think that was kind of the other extreme. So I think on one end of the extreme you have Homecoming, where you can basically take every monster you encounter, which I think makes it much less scary. And then there's Silent Hill 3, where you were absolutely sweating every monster that comes around. And so, like, you know, if you wanted to take out one of the larger monsters, it would take almost like every bullet you had out of the larger guns. That was crazy. I thought the story was actually pretty good. I thought it was predictable. I figured the story out pretty early on, I gotta tell you. I have played a lot of these games, and I have seen a lot of horror movies. It's very derivative of the movie Jacob's Ladder, which is a very good movie. It's one of the classics. But if you've seen that, I think you'll figure out a lot of what's going on. And you'll kind of recognize a lot of homages. The graphics. A lot of people were impressed with the graphics. The very few reviews I did read and I've seen on TV, they were impressed with the graphics. I was not. I got to tell you, judging from the PlayStation 3 version alone, I haven't seen the 360, the graphics on the PS3, I'm sorry, those are not next-gen graphics. I have seen better. I have seen a lot better when it comes to next-gen graphics. I thought Silent Hill 3 on the PlayStation 2 looked better than Homecoming. It's just not that impressive. I thought the character models were very low resolution. I thought the facial mapping, like the lip sync, was off all over the place. I was not impressed with that. I thought the level texturing was pretty good, and they had a really cool filter on the screen. Like when you go into the alternate world, there's like this really grainy filter. But that was in Silent Hill 3. I did not see a lot of difference. I actually thought it looked inferior to number 3. But that's just me. I also thought the level design is the level design in the Silent Hill thing is something that really needs to change. You know, earlier on in the other games, the fog was kind of necessary because drawing distances were limited, and you couldn't go in many buildings. You couldn't interact with a lot of the scenery. The level design was very, I won't say linear, but you were stuck kind of going on the places they wanted you to go to. There was not a lot of space to wander. And it's the same way in this game. It feels really, really strange when you're walking down the street and you can't interact with anything. Every door you'll run across, it'll say, this lock is jammed, I can't open it. Or, this door is locked, I can't open it. So you'll be constantly running down the street, trying doors, and they're always jammed. Like, how many doors can be jammed in one building? Like, why are they jammed? What the fuck is going on? Like after 6 months, every door just rusts shut. I don't get that. I would just like a lot more interactivity with the levels, the ability to wander, explore, kind of maybe like break into a store and make makeshift weapons. Alone in the Dark actually was kind of, I bashed that game a lot, but you know, you could really go into places and crack stuff open and make weapons, make makeshift weapons. It was a step in the right direction. Silent Hill feels really limited when it comes to the amount of interaction you have with the scenery. It just kind of feels like I'm constantly going where it wants me to go. It feels really artificial, kind of the same way with Grand Theft Auto, in the sense that you can't go into buildings. You can't. There's so much to do in Grand Theft Auto, and yet there are so many doors that are locked. So you're really restricted in your choice of what you can do. Also, the endings. I'm not going to tell you what the endings are. Don't worry. But the endings for Homecoming are terrible. They are just pathetic. They're like 10-second tacked-on endings that basically resolve nothing, and in some cases are actually very confusing. You kind of watch the game and go, "That's it. That's the ending I got. After all that, that's how you send me off? Is this lame-ass ending?" And yeah, I mean it's all the game has got. So it's kind of got these very trippy, very strange endings, which are good if they would have used them as kind of cutscenes in the game. If they had made a real ending and used the scenes they used as endings as just different scenes, like hallucinatory dream sequences, it might have not have been as bad. But they really needed to work on a more satisfying closure to this game. It's kind of too focused on the multiple endings. I used to really like the multiple endings for these games. Like Silent Hill 1 actually had a really good ending. I think it's the worst possible ending in Silent Hill 1 where you win, but if you did everything wrong, it fades up and your character is kind of slumped over the wheel of the car and the horn is blaring, and I was like, that was cool. You never got out of the car. That whole thing you saw was just kind of like your final moments before death. I thought that was really cool. But they kind of lean on it too much in this game, where they kind of give like these really fuck you endings. They give you these endings that are just kind of Twilight Zone-y for the sake of being Twilight Zone-y. It makes more sense if you've seen the endings, I guess. I'm kind of rambling about this, but the endings are not good. And I'll tell you, I actually got the UFO ending in my first playthrough as the natural ending. The UFO ending, which is supposed to be like the joke entry of the series, I got that on my first playthrough. I was pissed. Okay? There was like no way I was going to go play through that game again to get a serious ending when you give me the fucking UFO ending. Are you serious? Save points are really few and far between, although I didn't have as much problem with that as a lot of people complained about, because I don't suck at video games, and I did pretty well. So I died a few times, and yeah, you have to go back, but the game is not that hard. In fact, I would say it's probably too easy. If you're good at this type of game, play it on the hard. You'll find it's not too hard. I don't know how many health packs I had at the end of the game. I thought the bosses were pretty predictable and pretty weak. But that's Silent Hill. Also, I hate to say this because I'm a big fan, I think we've kind of played out Silent Hill. I think it's done. I think it's over. I actually thought Silent Hill 3 was the logical conclusion to the series. I didn't think there was much more we could do when it comes to Silent Hill. Story's kind of been told, and Homecoming does not contribute that much to the overall story. It kind of makes references, but that's all they seem like are just, hey, you made a reference to a previous game. That's cute. That's all it seemed like. The towns, you don't start in Silent Hill, but I felt the towns weren't all that distinct. I thought the level choices, the level design is kind of getting played. How many times can we go through a hospital? How many times can we go through a spooky hotel? How many times can we go through a prison or a spooky house? I guess that's kind of an indictment of the survival horror genre in general, and you'd be right. I think there needs to be some kind of revolution when it comes to the survival horror thing. I think we've kind of said everything that needs to be said when it comes to these games. I think Silent Hill is done. Is there anything new we can really bring to this series? I don't think so. When it comes to Resident Evil, I thought Resident Evil actually did a very good job of revolutionizing the series by telling a new story, by bringing something else other than the fucking T-virus. A lot of people hated that. They felt that was a betrayal of the series. I thought it was good. I thought we were bringing something new. Again, that's just me. Silent Hill, I think we kind of need to branch out if we're going to continue it at all. I think that's all I have to say about that one. I would give it a rental. You can beat it in about a day or two. There's not a lot to it. If you like the game, if you like survival horror, you'll like this one. It's kind of a weak recommendation, although I would recommend it if you're a fan. I guess that's my generalization for that series. Anyway, I'm going to go for now. I've probably gone on too long about this, but I hope that was informative. I hope that was more helpful than other reviews you might see on TV. I think you guys might be able to trust me a little more than other people, although I get the sense I'm going to get a lot of hate mail for bashing Resident Evil, Silent Hill, all that. Anyway, thanks for listening. I hope to have more updates very soon. Just play Mystery Disc until then. I think there's a lot of gameplay value in there. Check out the website. I'm going to be adding stuff to the website. I think I might actually do another movie review. Also, I have like 2 big surprises in store for you guys. Probably the biggest surprises in the history of the website. I get so much mail about the surprise I'm going to crack on you. So I think you guys are going to love it, but stay tuned, keep watching. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the videos. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the old videos. And if you guys want to send me a message, I'm always available on the website. I don't respond to private messages that much just because I'm so busy, like I'm working all the time. But I do answer when I can. It's just hard to sift through it all. But my discussion forums are a very active community, and they're very friendly, so except for Wes. I think he's kind of creepy. But anyway, I'm going to go for now. Thank you for listening, and good night.